Doing pretty good. So we can't talk about last week's game with you, but maybe we can talk about last week's practice. How's everything going?
Yeah, so we've had a really good going on 2 weeks of practice now. Our kids have been very detailed. They've had a very hungry approach to things. Basically, the first week, this last week, there's a couple things you want to accomplish when you've got 2 weeks. First of all is a little bit of rest, a little bit of built-in rest. So we took off Monday and we took off Friday, which made Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday our work days. And so then in Tuesday you get to work, you go knock the rust off. It's a great chance to self-evaluate, clean up a lot of things, sharpen a lot of techniques. And, that's kind of how you work through week one. Friday, you kind of wait for your opponent to shake out. Springs Valley, they won, as we thought they would, but a very close contest with South Spencer. A 36-33 game, kind of a back-and-forth contest. And then you start getting into week two this week, and you start getting more into the game plan. You definitely continue to sharpen your techniques and your fundamentals, and you just keep dialing things in a little tighter. And we've gotten a long look at Springs Valley. They're obviously a very familiar opponent, being a conference opponent,
right?
And have already played them once this year. Our kids are very excited for another opportunity. We felt like it definitely was not one of the better games we played this year. Our kids were hoping they would get another opportunity to play Valley, and they're going to get that. But Valley's a very good football team. They got a lot of team speed. Offensively,
they've got a monster of a running back as well.
Yeah, so a lot of team speed. They are offensively very run-oriented football team. Got a nice combination of size and speed, which makes them a very explosive offense. You mentioned the Childers kid, very good runner. The Hamilton kid's kind of more of a speed threat. And then the Chase is probably their most explosive, best athlete on the field. Very similar to our Chase. They happen to be first cousins. So you got a little family rivalry going there.
Yeah, there you go.
And then defensively, very aggressive style, gap control defense. They're going to try to put a lot of pressure on you. They're going to try to bully you around a little bit. If you allow that to happen, then they're going to have a lot of success. So you really got to be dialed in. They like to play really aggressive with their ends, outside backers, whatever you call them. We'll do some linebacker walk-ups, things like that. So you really got to be dialed into to run-throughs and things like that, pass protection situations. So we've had a lot of time to really work all that and dive in and feel super good about our football team and love the way they're practicing and love the attitude they're bringing each day. So we feel really good going into this.
Well, and that's the name of the game. That's the key, is to have that confidence carried into this game. Like you said, you've got the experience and the knowledge of the last time you guys played them, and plus the last 2 weeks getting to watch, what they've done. So creating a game plan becomes a little easier because of the known factors that you've got now.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you still got to get the job done, but the more time you have and the more tuned in, obviously, that equals confidence. A team that's more aware with the game plan, more aware of their assignments is obviously going to play more aggressive, and that's really what we're going to need to do Friday.
I think also, Coach, when it comes down to looking at, they've been playing nonstop for quite a few weeks, to where we've had actually a couple of basically 2 weeks off. To get all of our kids healed up and everything else ready to go. Does that become a factor? Knowing those kids on the other side, they haven't had a chance to rest.
Yeah, it's always interesting on how that's going to play out. You know, there's always two sides of that coin. You know, at some point is fatigue and, you know, just the wearing down, some knick-knack injuries. At some point, does that start showing up on the team that hasn't had a lot of breaks? Does that make rest part of our, you know, to our advantage, or are you better off just going out and playing each week and being able to get that game in and staying sharp in game-like situations? You know, it's kind of a double-edged sword, double-sided coin. It's just one of those deals you really don't know till you start getting into the contest Friday.
It's almost like whenever you get hot on a good offensive drive and the defense is trying to slow you down, they throw that, you know, they call that timeout or whatever. Sometimes that's a blessing to get that breather, or like you said, but sometimes it's a you know, it's a hindrance because it detracts from your motivation.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff we wanted to work on, but you know, the very first thing when we started putting practice plans together, I thought the kids needed Monday off, and then there was really no point in going on Friday. So those 2 days were nice. You know, you get Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's some good rest time.
Yeah, and that's some good healing time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need it. We've been a little banged up. Most of our banged up issues, though, are you know, have been unfortunately season-ending things of kids that we're not gonna get back. But it's always good to get a little rest under your belt.
Yeah. Now, Coach, I wasn't here last week to talk to you about the Salem West Washington game, but I was up in that booth. And the call of the night was that you know, the flag thrown on the booth. I have never ever seen that.
Yeah, that, you know, I'm not really going to talk much about that. That's out of my control, and that's out of control of people on the field. Sometimes there's going to be calls that you don't agree with. I certainly didn't agree with that one. To me, the answer to the issue was real simple. We're going to start keeping the play clock. The officials start keeping it on the field. That's how that's normally handled. But like I said, to his own, and that's not my decision to make. Our decision is to work through those things and manage the football game.
Right. You know, you guys do a tremendous job of coaching your kids and doing a good job of keeping, you know, what you guys can control.
Right, absolutely, and that's, you know,
it's unfortunate when something out of your control is detrimental to you.
Yeah, but once you start barking up those trees and you start making those type of excuses and stuff like that, at the end of the day, those are just excuses. And when you start doing that as a football coach, you leave yourself very susceptible for your kids to start doing the same thing, and we certainly don't want that. Again, you know, like you said, we're going to fall back on control the controllables, what we can control, and at the end of the day, I think in the long haul, that's the best approach.
You know, and I didn't expect any other answer from you because I know the integrity. I know the integrity that you have, and you, like you said, you're going to control what you can control.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. You know, we get another opportunity to play against a conference rival. It's exciting. Our kids are excited. They practiced well. We want to go out and put our best foot forward. We want to go out and play with a ton of confidence and just go out and compete, man. At the end of the day, we want to compete. And by competing and doing the things that are under our control, we really feel like that at the end of the day, we'll get into the fourth quarter and that's going to be a ball game, and our kids are going to have an opportunity to win.
Absolutely. You know, and the football that you guys have played this year, I know that there was a couple of them that you wish you had back, but I do feel like you guys have played some excellent football this season. The last few seasons, I feel like you guys have done really well, and I feel like you guys are going to go and whip it up.
You know, the biggest thing with this bunch this year, I'm super proud of just how they've handled a lot of adversity. And again, I'm not going to go into some of that adversity and make a lot of excuses, but we've had some pretty unfortunate circumstances this year.
Yeah.
And our kids have really done a great job of battling through those adversities, and they practice very every week. I mean, these last 2 weeks, you don't know after you lose a close game that you had a large lead in and things kind of crumbled around you. You're not real sure how practice is going to be when you get back out there. And I've just been super proud of how our kids have handled it, how they've dialed into the next task at hand, and just their hunger to go out, play another football game, another opportunity to win, another opportunity to get some revenge on a team that got the best of us the first time we played. I'm just super proud so far of how they've handled that.
And you have every right to be proud of those kids and the work that they've done and what that team has become. All right, Coach, I want to wish you good luck this week. Hopefully everything goes your way, and then I'll get to talk to you next Wednesday and see how this thing goes.
All right, fellas. Appreciate your time, as always.
All right. Friday, Coach.
You have a good night. All right. Bye.
You too.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Let's get on our feet and give a big hand to the starting lineup at McDonald's here in Salem. The quarter pounder is coming on the field. Filet of fish and the golden delicious fries are warming up on the sideline. And now for the feature star of the night, the Big Mac. You score every time with a hot, fresh meal from McDonald's in Salem, whether you're there for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Take a time out and stop by before or after the big game to check out their all-day breakfast menu or value menu. Download the McDonald's app and you can get great deals on delicious tastes all day long, including buy 5 McCafe drinks and get 1 free. You'll score every time with the wife and kids when you make a touchdown at the Golden Arches right here in Salem. And don't forget, McDonald's has gift cards so you can give that great fresh taste all season long. Or stop by 601 South Main Street today. And be sure to tune in on Wednesday nights at 7 for WSLM. We're broadcasting live at McDonald's for Coach's Corner.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
And we're live!
We are live. Some of us a little more live than others. Everybody in this place is staring now.
Yeah, well.
So you know what time it is. It's time for our nightly inspiration.
Before that, Nate, we got to talk. We got to talk about. We sort of have. Yes, it is. We sort of have a fan. And he's one of those kids that near and dear to my heart. His name is Gunnar Maynard, and he literally listens to this show. And last week, and you all know that in the show, what I always say,
watch out for deer.
Watch out for deer. It's kind of a thing that's kind of one of my things. And he listened to the entire show, and when he came in, he told his dad, he goes, "Well, that was for nothing. He didn't tell us to watch out for deer." So I want to tell you, Gunnar, I am just a fan of yours as big as you are of mine. So,
it's great to hear that. We have no way of knowing how many people.
Don't.
Other than the views on Facebook or whatever, but we don't know how many people are listening on the radio. And sometimes it's better to imagine that nobody's listening, because then the nerves kind of go away.
It kind of does. Like last week was rough, man. I was here by myself.
Right.
You wasn't here. You was getting a craniotomy or whatever.
Yeah.
And just
by
trying
the way,
to learn this
I want you to know how many calls or messages I got hoping I was doing okay.
That's because people care.
Listen. I've got this big scar on my head. Remember? Yeah, everybody already thinks there's something wrong.
I know. That's why I was saying it. But last week, being here by myself, learning, this.
The board.
The board is like the hardest thing ever. Because
imagine doing this.
It's not really that hard. It's not really that hard. It's just when you've never done it before. It's like, am I on? Is it working? Tonight, we didn't know if it was on or it was working.
Right.
So luckily, we're on now. So yeah.
It's like a couple of years ago, whenever me and Ryan took over doing this, everybody, you get the Nader Haters Club. We've got that, and you got people saying, well, have him do stats or this or that. Well, you can't do stats and run this board.
No.
And Ryan wants no part of this
dial buttons and got crap over there that I don't even. It was rough.
Listen, one of my favorite buttons, and I can't ever use it during the games, is this one right here.
I hate to say this, but I don't think we got tools here to pull this off. I hate to say this, but I don't think we got tools here to pull this off.
It ain't I can't do that during a game.
No. Well, you can. Oh, you can. You would get crucified for it.
Now listen, like whenever the referees get a little rough, and we all know that they got that blind zebra disease that goes around. They forget their eye drops. You gotta give them the what in the world are y'all doing?
And we've talked about this before. That you have two teams coming into a competition, and you have that team is going to hate the other team, and that other team is going to hate this team. But it doesn't matter. But you know why? Because both teams are going to hate the ref. So it doesn't matter. At least you have something in common.
But I tell you what, last week at Madison, we got away with one pretty blatant spot. We were about a yard short, but the chains were moving before they signaled the first down. So there wasn't much they could do.
Right.
They gave us a first down.
Yeah.
Well, it ended up going in Madison's favor one good time there towards the end, too. So it kind of equals out. So you hope that happens.
I think you ever see the refs actually take out the other pass paper and I think they go, screw that one up. Okay.
Got to fix
one goes to Salem or one goes to West Washington.
They're keeping it counting. So, and that happens in every game,
Unless it's the NFL, then they're going, okay, what's the point spread?
Oh, and you can't forget this one.
And the game is good for Salem first down.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's me.
Yeah, and we're going to use that forever. I don't care what school your kid plays for.
Well, I take that as a compliment, Nate. I really do.
Well, it is what it is.
I don't
know about a compliment, but...
Well,
all right. So,
I got to take what I can get.
Well, yeah. So let's get into this nightly motivation. Now, I want to say that...
I have not heard this, by the way.
You never hear them because... No. Well, listen, I haven't picked...
Right.
I haven't picked a single one this year.
Oh.
I have not done this. My girlfriend Amanda has picked every one of them this year. And she's good at it. She sends me 3 of them, and she's like... and she gives me reasons why she feels that this goes with this game.
Yeah.
Of course, she's going off the Salem games because that's, of course, who we go to and watch.
Right.
But there are times that she'll pick them that goes with all 3 of the teams because of what the coaches have talked about in the evening. Like, she'll send it to me late in the show, and she does really well at it. And tonight, this one, I think I've used it before, but I really like it because it really goes to the tenacity and the perseverance of all 3 of these teams in this county right now. And it says, champions keep playing until they get it right. And that's from Billie Jean King. And, her reasoning behind it was because of we were discussing a few days ago about how the teams have improved and how far they've come. And because of the hard work and effort they put in, they have not quit. They've continued to get better. And, we all know that Salem has had a rough season. It's been a rebuild season pretty much. But look at how far we've come with a coach that got here just a couple of weeks before, the season started.
This is true.
And then, the low numbers that he's had to deal with. And then you look at someone like Coach Lowry, that this is his 3rd season with the team,
and came to a program that
was broken.
That was,
they lost their
not that the
program wasn't broken, but their hearts were broken.
It was heartbroken. And I look at that and I go, Jeremy came into this. Coach Lowry, he really stepped up, and because I can tell you this. Whoever was going to take over that program, you either had one or 2 things was going to happen. Either it was going to completely just soar,
right,
like it has, or it was going to crash to the ground.
That's right. And you were going to have to build from scratch.
Yeah. But, look at both these programs. If you look at Salem, you look at West Washington, they came from, there's this diversity coming through this. And, these seniors that's in Salem, they've gone through 4 different coaches, or 3 different coaches. And, 3 different programs. Since they were a freshman.
Well, some of them, like from 3rd grade to their freshman year, some of them that all they knew was R.J. Hartsfield.
Yeah.
And then you get Blair Thompson that steps up from the middle school, so they knew him, and now they've got a guy in there that is basically a stranger to them, so they're having to learn him. Right. And let's not forget about Eastern. You've got Luke Dean down there doing amazing things with the smaller numbers of the county, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. How many D1 prospects has he got? And that doesn't come from, oh, well, you know what, we just pulled him out of the weeds. No. You know, he's nurtured those kids from whenever they were even...
Right, he's in his ninth season down there?
Yeah, because they were even in, you know, elementary school, you know, playing in elementary school and moving on up. So, you know, those... You know, that's the program, too.
That's one thing is, like, you know, because that's where our experience is with that youth program. Playing some of the talent that they had at Eastern. You know, they had some really great talent, and we're playing them now on Friday nights on, you know, both schools. You know, Luke has done a very good job with, you know, with small, you know, he didn't have a whole lot to work with.
Right.
He's really molded that into something great. He's had last year they barely had enough numbers to field a team, and for them to lose the kids that they did, and then be able to bring up the kids that they've been nurturing this whole time. You know, that he's doing an amazing job down there. And like I said, you know, you always, there's no place for a moral victory, but still, you look at it, and the scores at the end of this season, the record at the end of this season does not reflect how well Luke Dean and Eastern, the Musketeers are playing down there. And, you know, it really does speak volumes, because I do feel like, you know, they're on the brink of being the next Silver Creek or you know, the next the next breakouts. I think they're just right there.
Well, you know, we do have kind of an advantage of looking at this going, okay, we have a you know, 1A team, a 2A team, a 3A team in this county. So we could possibly, you know, look at, you know, at a situation to go, well, at some point, all three of these schools could possibly go to you know, a championship, in the same year. That's not normal when you look at, you know, like most counties, most rivalries and things like this. So, I'm really proud of our Washington County team, because we have that. You know,
well, and what I was going to say is, like, you know, semi-state's a familiar road for West Washington, so they know their way back.
Right.
You know, and finding the things that click, you know, the right switches to flip, is what is the responsibility of that coach. And I think Jeremy is, you know, the man for the job.
Yeah.
You know, and we have talked, me and Ryan have talked about Coach Gleasing. And you can tell that he's a big school coach, and he's trying to make it work in this small town. And I think he's heading the right direction. He's got the tools that he needs. It's just going to take a little experience and a little more time with the kids that he's going to have next year, and bringing them to the table as, you know, what we expect to see as, you know, as Salem Lion fans.
You know, you got three coaches in this county that are so different.
Yeah,
because Jeremy is a different type of coach.
Their styles are completely different.
They're completely different. You know, you have, you know, Brian Gleasing. You know, he's come from a, you look at Floyd, Jeff, Parkville. I mean, you look at Jeremy. He's gone from, you know, he was at Salem, then he went to Paoli, then he went, you know, to LaPorte.
Right.
LaPorte, people don't understand how LaPorte is. LaPorte is a 5A school.
Right.
They have over 500 kids in their graduating class.
Right.
So, you know, you're talking about going from, you know, Salem to Paoli to LaPorte. I mean, it's like you take all of Washington County, all of it, and then you add Scottsburg and Paoli and Spring Valley, and you put them all in one school.
Right.
That's what he went to. And then to come back to West Washington, because you know what, they want to be closer to home.
Right. Who can blame him for that?
Right. You know, and you know, you take Luke. Luke, you know, he came from Salem. You know, he went to Salem, and then, you know, he's back home coaching, you know, here. So all of the guys that we have here is coaching, literally from this area.
Right.
So I think that's a very important thing when you're looking at, you know, what we're trying to build here.
Exactly, and you know what have we always said, that these kids that we've been coaching, they're going to be those guys one of these days.
Absolutely.
All right, that's about all the time we got tonight. I did want to mention before we get off of here, I know there is a parade this Saturday at 6:30. We are also, my church and I are having a trunk or treat Saturday from 6 to 9. It's Heritage Chapel Church, and it's was it 28 North Christian Heritage Chapel Road. Bring your kids out after the parade. We always have a good time. We're gonna have a little hayride. I'm gonna be driving a little garden tractor, pulling everybody around, and they, gonna make sure that's gonna be hilarious. That is gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be like a monkey riding a football. So, but come out and have a good night. And whatever you do, you guys have a good weekend and be safe. And don't forget, come and see your favorite football team. We've got
we have all three of them working this weekend.
That's right, and it's one of those things that if you don't get out there and support them, how are they going to know?
Right.
that they are being supported. So make sure you get out and watch these football games, and make sure that everybody is supporting. And come out and have a good time with us. And we'll catch you guys back here on Wednesday night, and you guys will hear me on Friday night. So
yeah, and don't forget.
You guys have a good night, and
don't forget, Gunner, make sure you tell your mom and dad, your sisters, so watch out for deer.
Y'all have a good night.